Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Dash. Of course, double honors go out to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Alright, who through the Holy Spirit continue to teach us His knowledge and wisdom. Wow, this is 9 miles of the DC camp, and the more and more as time goes on here, if you don't see it by now, these Edomites, these self-proclaimed white people, alright, they are contrary to life itself. I came across this article, it's from the New York Post, and this is a Jake, alright, Army officer. He was living that life, God bless the USA kind of Jake, alright. And in this, he's telling how he's encountered this, spirit, alright, out there that says, that's anti-family, alright, representative of the self-absorbed type, we have to save the planet, this sort of thing. And instead of addressing the real problem, which is the nation of Edom's greed, alright, covetousness, as it says in Surah 10th chapter, alright, there's nothing more wicked than a covetous man. And that's true. And pride was not made for man, alright? Why is earth and ashes proud? Alright? So, that's at the root of this. These people are just, but they were set up for a specific purpose, alright? And we're at a time now that, it's very critical because you're starting to see things take shape. This is indeed a powder keg, globally that is, but here in the States, the United Snakes of America, here in America, wow, it's just on the verge of a civil war. And this is not to be said lightly, alright? If you're really paying attention, you can see this. Anyway, back to this story. It says, and it says, an hour after my daughter was born, I found myself racing back and forth between my wife's hospital room and my newborn's crib in a neonatal intensive care unit. Both faced dire health challenges. It was the worst experience of my life, but in the end, mother and baby recovered. The ordeal taught me something. Nothing on this earth is more fulfilling than being a husband and father. Driving home from the hospital, I received a call. Alright? I'd been accepted to Yale Law School. After overcoming one obstacle, I would soon face another as a young dad and a law student. A year later, I've had the privilege of telling my classmates about the joys of marriage and parenthood, but not everyone has been receptive. One student told me it might be unethical to have children in today's America. That view is distressingly common among our elites. Many climate activists, including AOC, fret that children increase our carbon emissions over their lifetime, hastening an ecological crisis. Apparently, human life loses intrinsic value in a crisis. Well, there is another crisis plaguing our country. At 1.7 births per woman, the U.S. fertility rate is at its lowest level in modern American history. Recent research shows that we haven't experienced replacement rate fertility since 2008. In other words, 13 years have passed since we last produced enough children to even maintain current population levels. Alright? It turns out that our downward population trajectory comes with consequences. As elderly people live longer, there are fewer working age citizens to pay into Social Security and Medicare programs adding more stress to an already strained system. All right, and that's another reason why they're pushing for this change as far as they want things to go digital. All right, a whole lot of change is going to have to be instituted. All right. It says, as a former U.S. Army officer, I'm also concerned about long-lasting national defense ramifications. Of course he is. A decline in young Americans means our military could find it difficult to maintain readiness as an all-volunteer force. Like I said at the outset, he's that type of Jake. All right. But he's in for a more harsher lesson. All right. Continuing on, it says in South Korea, another country experiencing population decline, the military is expected to shed 100,000 troops in the next 4 years. We could easily find ourselves on the same path if trends continue. Fewer babies breed major cultural worries too, like rising loneliness and less societal happiness. Well, you're already experiencing that with this so-called pandemic. All right. Our sense of isolation and alienation alone predated the lockdowns. Compounding the unhappiness, there is a significant gap between how many children people say they would like to have versus how many children our society births. So what's the holdup? It's becoming increasingly difficult to raise children in today's America. It boils down to two things: cost and culture. Daycare is astronomically expensive for young parents like me. Many working age men are unable to find employment. Housing costs continue to skyrocket. Student debt cripples nearly my entire generation, delaying family formation for some and relieving others with little impetus to marry and start a family at all. Alright? But that was the plan. And this Jake doesn't seem to get that. Alright? Because he's that, gung-ho type. Alright? And he's unable to see the forest for the trees, so to speak. Alright? So, wow. They don't want, especially when it comes to Jake, they don't want us to have stable families. Alright? I just have to question this Jake. Have you, like I said, he's got blinders on, I guess he's not aware of the things that have happened since the 60s. Alright? And those programs that were set up to do away with the Jake family unit. Alright? That's worth, I guess if you were in school doing a thesis or whatever. Alright? Yeah, that'll that'll ruffle some feathers there. Continuing on, it says, then there's the growing anti-family sentiment, especially among elites. Babies are seen as obstacles in the fight against climate change and the quest for personal fulfillment. Life in the womb is no longer considered a gift, but an inconvenience to be discarded at will. Hence, another thing that evolved out of that era. Alright, especially since that 1973 Roe v. Wade case. How many millions? I'm just talking about our people. Over 20 million. Again, these people are contrary. Alright? And you have to wonder, even with these Bible thumpers, alright? These people, these Christians, alright? That's why Christianity, oh man, that said. It's weaponized. Alright? Genesis says what? Let's go. Genesis 1:26 says, and the Most High, and the powers, said, let us make man in our image. Let us, so that's plural. And the power said, let us make Elohim, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing, alright, that creepeth upon the earth. Alright, so Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. Alright, and that's it. Nothing in between. It says male and female created he them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. See? There you go. But these people are contrary to it, the ruling people today. Alright? Oh, wow. And it gets worse from there. He goes on to say, even before my daughter was born, our doctor assumed that my wife and I, a young black couple, wouldn't want to keep our child. The doctor kept insisting that there were other options if we chose not to follow through with the pregnancy. Get a load of that shit. Since blacks account for over 36% of abortions, despite only comprising 14% of the childbearing population. Remember what I said earlier. Since 1973, over 20 million of us have been aborted. See how this pushed? Alright, Planned Parenthood and all this. This is eugenics, folks. Plain and simple. Alright. It says, I suppose a young married black couple just didn't look like parents to a pro-abortion physician. Eugenics. Like many issues, the population crisis has no easy solution. There are, however, public policy options that can help. Congress could pass pro-family legislation such as enhanced child tax credit that lessen the financial strain on those who serve society by raising kids. Again, this Jake doesn't understand what's really going on here. Alright? That's the reason why they're pushing LGBTQ and whatever else. Alright? Instead of pro-family. At least amongst us. Alright? Because you would see it's not so much the last couple election cycles, but what were Republicans known for? That's the code word. Alright? It was family values and all this crap. Alright? And you can see how Jake has been displayed, and that was them too, through the music industry and all this. They managed to shape and create sociopaths amongst our people with the influx of drugs and things of that nature into our neighborhoods. The father being absent, and as a result, that's what you got running around here on the streets. All right. So our people get destroyed by drugs, and the kids that they have, they end up being adopted, especially in later years, by people in the LGBTQ. Now, what do you think is going to happen as a result of that? Again, eugenics. Alright. Let's see. It's not all top down though. Everyday Americans could help by promoting marriage and family life as the foundation of a flourishing society. Cheer on the newlywed couple. Alright? Etc. etc. This Jake is in La La Land. Alright? But the reason I did this is because I'm trying to show you, even though his perceptions are, he's raised in that, La La Land, for lack of a better term, alright, his beliefs here aren't based in reality. Like I said, he's got on rose-colored glasses, alright. He's believed the hype. He's drinking the Babylon juice, so to speak. He doesn't see things for what they really are, how bad it is and how much worse it's going to get. Alright. Indeed, this is the wrong time, alright, to think about a family, but not for the purposes he was. This place is falling apart. Alright. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's like children want to be a liability. It is what it is. Alright. Whoa. I know a lot of Akim have families. Whoa, I really can't, I'm not qualified to comment on that. From a personal perspective, but just looking at it from, wow, when this thing collapses, Well, let's see if there's any comments. I like to get them if there are any. Like, take the pulse of the public from now and then. And oddly enough, wow, wouldn't you know, there is none. Wait a minute, hold on, let's see. Nope. Wow. These people are about death. Alright? They want nothing. They are anti-life. Alright? They are anti-life. I was going to use a comic reference, but I'm not going to go there. They are anti-life. Alright? So, yeah, that's about it. For time's sake, I'm not going to go anything, wasn't intending to do anything extensive here. But, wow, since I brought that up, got to go to Matthew. Says it all. When this all falls apart. Here we go, perilous times. Alright? And of course, 70 AD, but it applies to what's coming. Alright? Because there's a reason Daniel 12:1 is there. Alright, it's going to says it's going to be a time unlike any other that's ever been on the earth. To the point where the Archangel Michael will have to stand up for his people. This is Matthew 24:15. It says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whose readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. The history there. Alright. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. What happened down there in Texas? You know, there was a guy that died in his house sitting in his recliner. Alright, froze to death. For there shall be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Alright? And that's what's coming. Where in 2nd Ezra 15, from 14 on down, coming into 2nd Ezra 16, from 18 on down. Alright? Alright? Things were cheap. Now you're seeing gas on the rise. I mean, quickly too. Alright? Things that were cheap. Alright? You're seeing inflation, and it's going to turn into hyperinflation. Alright? So, yeah, let me check the time here. I didn't want to too much. Okay, yeah. So, hey, like I say, this guy's still, got those rose-colored glasses on. He one of those that probably thinks, it didn't say it here, but he thinks everything's going to be all right, America's going to bounce back. He just seems the type that, like I said a couple of times already, he doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. Not at all. Alright, so hey, I hope whoever views this is edified. Just another sign of a Jake that's out there and just does not get it. Alright? Doesn't know who he is, first and foremost. Oh boy. Alright, so with that, hey, call the law Yahweh, Shimmy Awashai, Shimmer Kakadash. Once again, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who through the Holy Spirit continue to teach us this truth. So with that, hey, shalom.